right prospector. So here it is. I decided, I got bored here, out here in the shed and in the house, and decided to put my 3D printer to work. As some of you know, I made those little itty bitty tiny gold pans that I'm giving away in some of the pay dirt. I decided to upscale that a little bit. I was curious to see if one of these little 3D printed pans actually works for panning. They're great for novelty items, but how well do they actually work out here in the shed, panning through pay dirt, and can they actually catch gold? So I decided, let's print one up. So I made a little, I set up the printer, printed off a little 4-inch gold pan. I'll go through the printing of that for you. We're going to speed it up because it was a 2-hour process to print the whole thing. And it's a pretty small pan, so it's 2 hours of your time and filament and all that. So the cost there is what it is. I don't know if it's really cost effective to print these out, but if you're stuck at home and you can't get a shipment with a gold pan, and you realize there's a creek going through your backyard that has gold in it, and you need to pan today, and you happen to have a 3D printer, hey, maybe it'll work. But so I just printed off a little 4-inch one. Very simple, very sleek. It's this little guy right here. And we're going to make up a little bit of pay dirt. We're going to go through this thing. Like I say, I'm going to show you the printing of it so you can watch that go through and see what it looks like for the 3D printer doing its thing. We're going to speed that along. But then we'll come back. We'll put some pay dirt in this guy. We'll pan it out. We'll see if it can catch anything. So stay tuned and hang tight. Cleaned it all up, dried it all out. We're going to see what this little 3D printed pan can do for us. Did it recover the gold? It definitely recovered gold. But the question is how much? Now we put 4.9, so almost a half a gram in there. And wound up getting back 4.85. So I may have lost a little bit of gold. Now when I went back through it from the normal pan, I did find a few little itty bitty specks in there, so that is probably what made up the missing half of a tenth of a gram or something like that. Let's see, 4.9, it comes back roughly 4.81, 4.8. Yeah, so 4.8-ish is what we wound up getting back out of there. So not quite 100% recovery, but like I said, there was a little bit of small flake that wound up still being in the big pan or got through. I think those little ones probably rode the very top of the sand on the way out there at the final parts of the cleanup. But overall, 4.8 or 0.481, 485 gold recovery with this little itty bitty finger sluice, or finger pan is what I guess we'll call it. It's not too bad. Pretty good for a little POS thing like that. I guess if this is all you have, or you're really desperate for a gold pan and you happen to have a 3D printer and some extra filament, you could go ahead and print yourself one up. Would I do my gold prospecting with one of these? Maybe if it were a little bit bigger. I think a lot of these little itty bitty riffles are good for some fine gold, but when you're cleaning the gold out, I think they're just too small to really do a good job of catching everything, so a lot of stuff is able to just roll over the top. A lot of the bigger rocks maybe knocking stuff out. So although it does work actually pretty well for fine gold cleanup, especially on this side here, because where you would normally have to season your pan, you don't got to do any of that because this thing is let's see if you can make that out. Like most 3D printed things, it has a natural riffle system. So there's lots of fine little spots where your gold's gonna want to stop itself before it floats out. But the black sand seems to just roll right over these little itty bitty. So this is actually pretty cool. In here, when I was tapping stuff around, what I found is these acted like additional riffles. The little striations that are in here from the printing. So a lot of the black sand, if I was tapping it up this way, the black sand would get caught on these riffles where the gold would jump out of the way. So you can take your snuffer and clean it up that way. So this is actually a pretty cool idea, I think. It took about 2 hours to actually print the whole thing, and it's a really small one. It's only 100 millimeter, which is like 4 inches or so. I had originally done one that was an extra inch bigger, so would have been like that big. But it would have taken 5 hours to print, and I just didn't want to tie up the printer that long. Not that I had anything else to print, I just didn't want to, record the printer for 5 hours. But, like I said, if you don't have a pan, and Amazon can't get you one of these little cheapies quick enough, or you just want to play around, you're bored, there's lots of stuff to do since we're all stuck at home right now, maybe make yourself a little bit bigger one, and I think it would make a really good finishing cleanup pan. Anything this small, I don't know, man, I wouldn't really mess with it. This was just for fun, really, and I had a good time playing with it, going through with the little finger gold pan. But to be serious, I would not spend too much time playing with it like this, because if you have a regular pan, it cleans up a lot faster there anyways. Bigger pan, more dirt, you can run through it. But this was fun for fun, and I hope you all enjoyed it. Seeing me panning with a little mini finger pan, 3D printed. So check one out, go do it yourself. You can find these files for these pans on thingiverse.com. Hopefully my thing scrolls the right way. Thingiverse.com. Just do a search for gold pan. You'll find one of these guys, and there's a few other designs out there as well. All of them probably work just as well as each other. Some have bigger riffles in there along with the small ones, so forth and so on. But like I say, you can size them up and down with your slicing software, however big you need them to be, or however big your printer will allow you to print, or however much time you want to actually give it. My printer is only an 8x8, so at best I could print an 8-inch gold pan. And now we're venturing into the sizes of pans that I already have. So, like I say, it's more of a novelty than anything else. I might wind up making a 6-inch pan and maybe use that for fine gold cleanup when I want to get black sands out of there. But I don't know. We'll see. If I wind up doing that, I will do another video on it and let you guys walk through as we see how well that one works out. But other than that, I just want to thank you for tuning in to our 3D printing little session here today, and I hope you had a good time. And if I don't catch you out on the rivers, I will see you in the backyard. Peace!